Hello everyone, I am Sparsh Raj and today we will be understanding the concept of threads in operating system. We all have learned the terms program and process. Program is the set of stored instructions and process is the program under execution. Then what is thread? Thread is a lightweight process. Literature defines thread as a flow of execution through process code with its own program counter, system registers, and stack. It is a single sequence stream within a process. It is a path of execution which keeps track of which instructions to be executed next. It stores the information of the stack so that it stores the history of the executed instructions, and also it may contain the information of system registers to know the current working variables. Depending upon the processor configuration, a process can have single thread, and so it is called a single threaded process, or multiple threads called as multi-threaded process. For a given process, all its threads share the common code, data, files, and other higher order resources. These higher order resources are termed as global resources, which are dedicated for a particular process and can be accessed by all the threads within the process. But every thread has its own set of resources which are dedicated to particular thread, that is its own program counter, registers, and stack. Coming to the next point, every thread will have the same process ID but different thread ID. Listeners, please note the first thread ID will be same as that of the process ID. And one thing to remember, thread always belongs to a process. That is, no thread can exist outside any process. Now, let's understand this in a better manner. Here on the screen, we have two images. The left image shows a single process P with a single thread. These are the set of dedicated resources of the thread, that is the register, the counter, and the stack. And these are the global resources of the thread, the data, the files, and the code. And this is the thread which is under the process. Now here, the concept of division of resources may not be clear. So let's switch to the right image. The right image shows a single process P with three threads. These are the set of the dedicated resources, the register, the counter, and the stack. These set of resources are dedicated to a particular thread only, and that is why every thread has its own set of dedicated resources. Now, these are the global resources, the data, the files, and the code. These are the global resources and can be accessed by all the threads at any point of execution. Now, the question arises that if we have process, then why do we need threads? The first point is quasi-parallel. The concept behind this point is a process can have multiple threads. These threads actually execute serially in a sequence. So this means first the thread 1 comes into execution. Once gets completed, only then the next thread, that is thread 2, comes into execution, and this goes on. But the context switching time between any of these two threads is so fast and rapid that it seems that all these threads are executing in parallel. So summing up, this point is that although the threads execute in a serial sequential manner, but due to their fast and rapid context switching time, the execution seems to be parallel, and thus it is termed as quasi-parallel. Resource sharing. Resource sharing is stated as because the main resources are the address and the memory space, and these are stated as the global resources for all the threads. So there is no need of special allocation of resources to the threads, and due to which there is a proper utilization and sharing of resources between the threads. So there is no need for inter-process communication. Coming to the next point, that is economical. As I told that there is no need of separate allocation of address and memory space. So concept of threads makes the process much more economical and supports multiprocessor architecture. As we have seen or studied that with the recent developments, the multiprocessor architecture system is much more preferred over the other cases. This is so because it has been experimentally determined that when a multi-threaded process runs in a multiprocessor architecture, then the system efficiency increases to many folds as compared to all other cases. And so threads become an evident role in today's computation systems. Now, how threads and process are similar. Like process, only one thread can run at a time. As we have learned that instructions are under pipeline and every one instruction comes into execution, it's get completed, only then the next instruction comes into execution. Similar to that, the threads within a process execute serially, as I've already told, not in a parallel manner. Next point is threads execute sequentially. All the threads are set with a thread ID. So all these threads execute in a sequential manner according to the thread ID to maintain the sequence of the threads. Coming to the third point, like process, threads can too create their children, which are subthreads. As we have already learned in our basics of operating system, that process create their children known as subprocess. Similar to that, threads also create their subthreads. Coming to the last point, if one thread is blocked, then another thread can run. We all must have learned the term deadlock handling in operating systems. So this referring to that context, if one thread gets blocked during its execution state, immediately the next thread in the sequence comes into execution. Once the blocked state of the previous thread gets resolved, the previous thread comes back into execution. And this helps in reducing the time waste due to deadlocks. Now, how is thread different from process? Although threads are derived from process, yet there are some differences. First point is, for a given process, all its threads are interdependent. We all have learned that within an operating system, every process is independent of each other. But unlike to it, all the threads within a given process are interdependent. Viewers, please don't confuse with my next point. Every thread is interdependent within a given process, meaning if there is a process A, then with 5 threads, then those 5 threads of process A are interdependent amongst themselves. It doesn't mean that threads of process A and threads of another process B are any way dependent. Threads of process A are interdependent amongst themselves and threads of process B are interdependent among themselves only. There is no dependency or link between the threads of process A and threads of process B. Please clear this point. Coming to the next point, a thread can access every address in the task. As memory space and address space are the global resources for the threads, so these can be accessed by every thread in the task. Unlike processes, threads can assist each other. As threads are interdependent on each other within a process, so threads can assist each other, unlike process. Now, we have learned a lot of theoretical stuff. So let's have some hands-on stuff as well. For the hands-on session, I have created a C file named as thread.c and have written the code to visualize how threads are created and generated. Hey, these are the libraries I have imported. I would like to make a special mention of this pthread library on line number 4. This pthread library enables the user to figure out and visualize how the working of threads execute and also to allow the user to create and terminate their own threads. So let's move further. In the main function, this is the t underscore id is the variable for the pthread library. The line number 19 printf statement gets the process ID from the get PID function and prints it. And next we come to the main part of this code. In line number 24, we are creating a new thread for the function thread underscore task. So let's study that what this pthread underscore task pthread underscore create function does. So let's open a terminal. Let's check the manual for this pthread underscore create function. As you can see, the manual states the pthread underscore create function creates a new thread. The synopsis states that this function belongs to the pthread library, and this function pthread underscore create takes 4 parameters. The first parameter is the pointer to the pthread underscore t library. The second parameter is the attributes which we need to pass while creating a thread, and by default it is set to null. The third parameter is the task or the process or the function for which a new thread has to be created. And the fourth parameter of this function is the arguments which we need to pass for the function passed in the previous parameter. And by default, we have set it to null. By default, this function pthread underscore create returns 0 for a successful creation of thread, else it returns the error code. Let's get back to our code. In the code, I have referred to this pthread underscore task function. This pthread underscore task function has been defined here. The pthread underscore task function first prints 2 lines of code and then comes to this line sleep 30. The sleep 30 instruction states that compiler to stay under the execution phase for 30 unit time and then only terminate. The sleep 30 instruction has been given such that so that we can understand and visualize how threads are generated and how they are terminated. Now coming to the next part, like as I have stated, if the return value of this pthread underscore create function is 0, that is, it is successfully created, then it prints the first statement, else it prints the other statement. Now coming to the next command, the pthread underscore join function has been stated here. This pthread underscore join function is also an inbuilt function of the pthread library. So let's read the manual of this function. As you can see, the manual states that this is pthread underscore join function. It is used to join with a terminated thread, and it is also a part of the pthread library. This pthread underscore join function takes 2 parameters. First is the variable to the pthread underscore t library, and second is the return value. By default, we have set this return value to null. The return value for this pthread underscore join function is by default set to 0 if it works well. Else, in case of any error, it returns the error code. Now let's get back to our code. Once the pthread underscore join function returns 0, that is, it is successfully executed, only then the printf function comes into execution, the last printf function comes into execution, and the file is completely compiled and executed. So let's compile this file in a terminal and see what happens. I will be using the GCC compiler, and I want the special name of the output file as thread. Let's execute it. As per normal execution instruction, we see that this command throws 2 errors. First is undefined reference to pthread create, and second is undefined reference to pthread join. Now, what are these errors? Let's get back to our code. As I have stated that these two functions, pthread underscore create and pthread underscore join, are the library, are the inbuilt functions of this pthread library, but these do not execute automatically. To execute this file according to the pthread library, we need to state the compiler to execute the file according to the pthread library instead of going the default mode. So let's state it using the L flag of the GCC command and the library name, and the file gets properly executed. Let's check the output file. As we check the output file, this returns the process ID for this particular process, and it prints the following statements. And this is the hello world we are labeling threads is the line for the pthread task function. Now let's get to another terminal and open a command ps and execute it. Before proceeding to the output, let's just understand that what this command is. This ps command enables the user to check the status of active processes and display technical info about the process. The T flag displays the process hierarchy rooted at a given PID in a tree format using the ASCII art. And the P flag displays only info about processes with the process ID specified from the process list variable. Now let's analyze the output. The output shows 5 columns and 2 rows. The 2 rows are the threads generated in the particular execution. This process ID 3968 is common for both the threads, as you can see here. But the sub-process ID or the thread ID is different for both the threads, as I have already told you. The first thread ID is same as the process ID, which I have already mentioned. And now let's understand that what are these two threads. The first thread is the main execution process of the file thread.c. When we compile the file, this process 39681 comes into action. But when we execute the file and it reaches to the pthread underscore create function, it reads an instruction to create a new thread for the particular function thread underscore task. And for that, a new thread is created with a thread ID 39682. And these are the two threads generated during the execution of the pthread and pthread lab from the pthread library. Let's get back to the terminal. We see that the thread has been terminated. So after 30 unit time of the sleep time instruction, it is over. The timer expires and the pthread join function is executed, and finally the final printf function is also executed. Now, once this file has been completely compiled, let's get back to the terminal and check with the same process ID if the process still exists. Press enter and we see that the column gets empty. So this means that once the process using the pthread join function, we have deleted or killed the process and the thread for the process ID 39681. So this means once the process has been completed, the process and the threads have been killed and they have been properly terminated. That's all in the hands-on session. I guess this would have been able to give you a better understanding for the concept of threads in operating system. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you and have a good day ahead.